Hi guys, welcome to Take It to the Max. Today we're going to be looking at the best settings for the Modern Warfare beta. And we're going to be going through everything and telling you a little bit about why we've chosen to put those settings on that specific one. So going through, we're going to start you off on the controller settings. And we're going to go through everything there is. We're going to talk about the stick sensitivity. I play on a 155. I played this on BO7 and it felt great. And to be honest, it still kind of feels pretty good for the Modern Warfare 4 beta as well. So I've just stuck to the same sensitivity. Obviously, you can twiddle around with that as much as you like. We obviously turn controller vibration off. You do not want to have your controller vibrating in your hands as you are playing, because that will mess up your aim and everything. We turn trigger effect off. In our dead zones, we have no left stick minimum. We have a maximum of 65, so that our left stick will be bit more responsive in that sense. Right stick minimum down to 0 as well. Obviously, if you guys have got some stick drift, then that may need to be adjusted a little bit here and there. I wouldn't adjust your right stick minimum, as you really, even if you have stick drift, because you really want that on 0 to be able to respond as quickly as possible. So I would not adjust that at all, but the left stick minimum, you could probably adjust that very slightly if you needed to. The right stick maximum, we've put down a little bit, down to 95 this time, to make it a little bit more responsive. We have both our dead zones for the buttons on 0, because you want to be able to shoot as fast as possible. And then on aiming, we keep the sensitivity multiplier all the same. Aim and advanced settings, we are on gradual at the moment, which is I just find a little bit better than instant, to be honest. It just kind of responds a little bit better, but you can mess around with instant or gradual, completely up to you, see what happens. You've then got the aim response curve type. I find standard is better for aim assist, so your aim assist will kind of definitely respond a lot better if you've got standard on. I'd put that up to a 1. If you're gonna play on dynamic, I would probably put that slope scale onto 0.65. To be honest, I played on dynamic yesterday and it wasn't too bad at all, to be honest. Hi Muna. The custom sensitivity, we do adjust that very slightly. We have a slightly bit of a higher zoom for each one, just so that can go straight into whatever magnification you set it to as you're shooting, and you don't have to wait for anything to kind of apply, and you can just go straight into whatever zoom you've got it on there. So we've got 80, 80, 85, 95, 1 and 1.1. So you can adjust those as you see fit. We have tug aim assist and ADS aim assist on. We don't mess with these motion sensor functions, as we're not too kind of like savvy on those just yet. So yeah, we don't really mess around with those. The movement, I tend to put sprint assist on. I do not use tactical sprint assist, I just use sprint assist, and we make sure the sprint assist delay is on 0. The mantle assist I turn off. The corner slice I turn off, but that's completely up to you. If you want your gun to be bending around corners as you move and things like that, then turn that on. If you are happy not to have that, then turn it off. I use tap to slide on the slide behavior. Partial automatic airborne mantle, just so that if you're going to fall, it will save you. And then On the advanced settings, most of that is all the same, like, to be honest. You know, I've got single tap run and a free for plunging underwater. That's pretty much the only difference on there, I would say. Vehicle behaviors are all the same. On the combat settings, everything is pretty much the same, but I apply one plate at a time rather than three. I do C4 one by one, and other than that, those are all pretty much the same. On the combat behaviors, we do instant, we do a short weapon mount exit, short delay for the weapon mount exit. We do tap to reload, just because I have found it quite difficult to get used to holding down my square button when I want to pick stuff up. So I find in multiplayer it really messes me up, because I end up tapping my button all the time and picking up everyone else's guns. So yeah, if you can't get used to that and you tend to pick up everyone else's guns, then I would recommend using tap to reload and hold to interact. Obviously, if you're going to be playing Warzone, you probably want to switch that down to either tap to interact or prioritize interact for Warzone. But if you're playing multiplayer, I would stick to tap to reload. Mantle cancel reload off. I pair the akimbo so that we can use one trigger to shoot both guns, and everything else is pretty much default. On the graphic settings, we don't have many graphics to actually change on here right now, as obviously we're on PlayStation, so there isn't many graphics to change on the PlayStation. On the quality, we do turn off a world motion blur, we turn off weapon motion blur, we turn off depth of field and depth of field for your weapon as well. We do turn on fidelity cast and put it straight up to 100, and that should give you the best settings for that. On demand texture streaming, we always have that on minimal, so that you're not downloading any extra high texture data content that you don't need to, as obviously that can make your game quite laggy and you're just kind of downloading stuff that you don't necessarily need to be honest. On our view, we're using a 120 field of view because I'm using a monitor, which gives me the best full focus of the whole entire area and screen. If you're using a TV though, I would recommend knocking this down to 90 so that you can see a bit better around your surroundings, as TVs aren't as close to you, so you would need that little bit of extra vision to see everything that's going on there. So I put that on a 90. I'd also change your gamma brightness down to up to probably around 80 as well, which will give you a bit of a better kind of view and brightness there of your screen. We have put the first person camera movements down to low 50 on both. Left the inverted flashbang, we've put the field of view for vehicle on wide, and then on audio is a lot down to preference. You kind of just, do that how you want to do it. I've got my master game volume down to 60, gameplay music volume down to 20, dialogue on to 70, effects, you want that as high as possible because you want to hear everything that's going on. This is all your footsteps and all your gunfire and things like that. So this is a must to be on the full volume. The cinematic music volume we've got down to 30, and we're on the home theatre audio mix, which seems to be doing really well, to be honest. Had no problems with that at all. Audio sounds great, so we're all set on that. We have our music licensed on because obviously we stream, so we need to mute any music that is copyright. We have our asymmetric hearing compensation on, and we configure our frequency settings. We have copied the frequencies from BO7, and they seem to be doing pretty nicely at the moment, but we will probably adjust those as time goes on to see if we can get some better settings for the hearing. But here is the numbers for those. We've got 50, 0, -35, -35, 20, 50, 10 and 10, and you will copy those onto both left and right. So if you want to check those out, check those out, and they are pretty good, and they are definitely not doing any harm in my gameplay. I can hear pretty much everything, so yeah, they're doing well for me. And I would reduce tinnitus sound, as you don't want any extra ringing in your ears. For the voice chat settings, you know, it's down to personal preference. If you're getting some loud noises, people can hear all your background noise, they can hear your washing machine going and kids screaming, and it's all a bit crazy in your house and everyone can hear it, I would whack your open mic threshold up to 85, and that will help minimize the background noise that people can hear. Obviously, if you have dogs barking like me in the background, that is impossible to block out. So unfortunately, it doesn't work for everything. But if you're going to do just a few things that you want to block out in the background, then do the mic open threshold to 85, and that should sort you out. On the interface, we have most of this. You can just pick what you want to do. I personally have the game tips on, the kill cam, skip kill cam off, obviously if you want to see that, and skip movie, introduction movie on. I have my server latency and packet loss up on the screen so that we can see any changes there. On readability, we've got the subtitles on default. You can turn them off or do whatever you like with those. So, you know, literally you can just, yeah, whatever you want to do with those. That's just subtitles. I put everything on larger so that it's a little bit bigger for me to see, because why not? Make it a bit easier for us to see. Color customization, you can go on there, do whatever you like. I am going to change my neutral to probably a bright green so that I can see a bit better for neutral there. But you want to pick some bright colours for everyone, you know, for people you want to see. I personally tend to mess around a little bit. I mean, you can put on whatever you like, really. I mean, I've got like teammates as kind of different colours. You know, I've got teammates as such and such a colour, and I've got, you know, my party as pink and my team as purple, and then I'm blue, and my enemies I've put as a brighter red so they show up a bit better, neutral green so it shows up nicely, contested yellow. You know, you can mess around with those colours, whatever you want to put them as. If you want to be really specific, you've got squad members here as well. I put on colour filter 2 because that seems to be the best. I put on colour filter target both. Again, that just seems to be the best. And we put the intensities on 100 because we just want those to be as bright as possible for everything, really. So we pop those on 100, but that color customization is completely down to you. You put on whatever you like. Mess around with the filters. You just kind of find out what you like the best, and what pops for you, I guess. On the gameplay HUD, we have make sure your minimap is square because you will be able to see much more on your minimap. Minimap rotation is good to have on, and we've got abbreviated player names as we don't want to see the full one. Kill feed we've got on extended so that basically we can see a full kill cam, so that if you suspect anyone is cheating, you get a full good look at their kill cam to be able to have a look at their gameplay. We've got crosshair lines on. We have ours as bright pink so that we can see exactly where our crosshair lines are. And you want to put this as something that is not going to be on the game with you. So obviously I've chose pink. You're not really going to see pink on the game, so it's not going to mix in with any other colours or presets on the game. So I would pick a colour that is not going to be there and mix in with anything. So you don't want to, you don't want to put it as maybe a brown or something like that. You want to make sure that your crosshair is going to be nice and bright, something you can see, and not mixing into other things on the map. The damage markers we've got on, hit markers we've got on, weapon information, and all this is pretty much just the same. Motion sickness and all that, we don't mess with that, but you can obviously mess with that as much as you like. Account and network settings are obviously down to your personal preference. That is things like having your party as open or closed, invites, things like that. Have that however you would like. And for the settings, that is it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to pop a like and subscribe. And yeah, we will catch you in the next one. Hope you enjoyed.